Welcome back everyone to another video here with Invest for Tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Nano Dimension and Nndm stock. But before we do, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I've created a second channel where I will post my due diligence and research on certain stocks that are setting up to explode and grow. We're having issues with the link down below in the description. So what I would ask for you guys to do is come on over to the Twitter, and it's my most recent post, and that link will redirect you to the channel where you can go ahead and subscribe and click on the bell. But let's go ahead and jump into what Nndm has. I look forward to doing everything that this channel will entail. We're going to do shorts as well, which will be 30 seconds to a minute and a half. And we're also going to do every single video no more than 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 5 minutes and 10 seconds. But the goal is to stay below 5 minutes every single time as much as we can, with all the due diligence you need to be aware of the stock, be enlightened, and you as investors will do further due diligence to make a rational decision based off of what you found and the fact of everything you heard. So I look forward to sharing all of that with you guys. So here we are. Nndm, Nano Dimension, broke through resistance, hit a newer high, pulled back, and it's sitting sideways. And the 50-day moving average is slightly close to the price, but below it. So we are slightly in a tug-of-war zone, but let's see our new resistance and support. Now, I did bounce from that low here of $6.50, and it raised up to $8, almost $9. That was a big run today. So let's see here, well, between the last 2 days, but today it definitely jumped nicely as well. So let's see here our 50-day moving average, and that's 777. Anything below that is bearish, anything above that is bullish. So here we are with our support, 786. If it gets broken through, you definitely want to watch this carefully, how it reacts between support and the 50-day moving average. And if they both get crossed, the next point of reference I would look at to dissect the chart and get a little bit more zoomed in is 760. Okay, you can use that, it's completely optional, but it's just to see if the bulls try to reappear, or are the bears tearing this one down significantly and fairly fast. Now, our resistance is super important because it's the highest point we've seen since this dip and the highest point of the day, and that's 884. Now, I want to emphasize the bulls do need to break through that to reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and continue this upward momentum. So 884 definitely needs to be broken through and turn into a support. Now, in this slight upward trend, let's go ahead and see how ARK Invest has reacted. So ARK Invest on the 5th, right, which was last week, ARK W on the 5th, they had 5,714,737 shares. And ARK W today on the 8th, ARK W, they have 5,654,647 shares. So when we look at the difference from last week to this week, they've gone down a significant amount of almost 70,000 shares, 60,000 shares, give or take. So why are they unloading? There's a few things that I see here very interesting, and we're going to look at, in just a moment. So let's see ARQ. ARQ, right, on the 5th had 6,901,307 shares, and today ARQ has, right, on the 8th, 6,780,081 shares. So at first they were unloading very slowly, and it was something to just be mindful of and pay close attention to, but that's 200,000 shares there in just one weekend, right, from Friday to Monday. And the 5th was on Friday, and here we are Monday. What I'm interpreting here, as long as they hold above 5 million shares in ARQ and 4 million in ARKW, which kind of goes back to how much they had close to December, almost the beginning of January, before this stock started to run past $12, $15, $17. If they hold that much, it wouldn't be so much of a red flag like everyone is saying in the comments. I agree with all of you guys that watched the previous video. They're just unloading. they're repositioning, reallocating. But something I'm noticing is they're taking their profits now in little chunks. And I think what they're trying to do is when we see it come back up a little bit, unload a bit, but they anticipate more of a drop because they haven't bought in weeks now. This is the first time that they have not bought for quite this long. Like, they would go one day without buying, but they were buying every single day for almost the last 8 months. Okay? And out of nowhere, in the last several weeks, they've started buying, selling, and now they've been just selling. So one thing that I've noticed for them to really, really load up is they want to see the bottom. And the fact that they're unloading shares, if they knew this would continue, I don't think they would be unloading. If anything, they would be loading up. So they believe with their analysis and whatever it is that they do as a team, I think they're unloading little by little due to the fact that they see this not being the bottom, and they see 650 as a point of reference that needs to be crossed to understand how much lower this could go, or it needs to get close to it. And if it retests it and it bounces back from it, that may just be the bottom, and it's going to give them a little bit more of an understanding of strength from the stock. But I believe they do not see the bottom yet, and they're being very cautious. And if they're even wrong, they rather unload right now before this gets closer to when they started initially investing, which was way back here at $2, $3, and they're still profiting. But their goal most likely is to get back in on this one, but they're unloading now through the uncertainty before loading up and averaging up more than they need to. So I'm not sure how it is that their thought process is. I'm just putting out there my opinion. I don't believe they've lost hope because this is not the only stock they're selling, but I like to zoom on in and understand a little bit more. But they've been unloading a lot, hundreds of thousands and thousands at a time, and they haven't bought in quite some time. That is something to be mindful of and pay close attention to, but it does not mean that they lost hope or that they don't see the forward outlook of Nndm with all the way that they've always talked about it. I mean, they believe in this innovation big time, but they're just trying to be strategic. I feel like their message, by the way they're reacting, is that they do not see the bottom yet, and there's probably room here for this to retest 650 or even get past it. So I want us to all be aware, and let's just watch this closely. I can be completely wrong, and ARK Invest is sending a whole nother message or has another outlook, but we shall see what happens. As always, guys, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Stay tuned till the end because we have a lot to cover about the S&P 500 index and forward outlook. Stay tuned. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, all I ask is for you guys to hang on tight for one more minute because I'm going to show a short clip of a previous video that I talked about when we started to see signs of this going downwards. I want us to pay close attention to these peaks, and the drawing might not be the same, but it's going in the same direction. Now we need to watch the market carefully, and I'm going to share with you guys after that short clip how I feel about this and what we need to look for, and also the 10-year treasury, how it's doing. Stay tuned, and all I ask for in return is for you to hit that like button to let me know you watch this video. 39.50, and it's been going down since. So one thing I want us to pay close attention to is if the market continues to build this behavior. This is the behavior that I'm seeing, right? If it continues this, and we're hitting newer lows, and it continues to hit these peaks, right? Then the market is struggling to hold itself up because the repurchase agreements of these dates do not exist right now. And a lot of people don't realize how much of an impact the Federal Reserve's decisions has on the overall market. Like, the only reason why the market's been pushing up higher, it's all the forward outlook and hope, but it's these dates. These dates hold up the market from going any lower or from staying stagnant. It keeps on pushing it. It keeps on creating anticipation, excitement, the speculation and the hope of seeing ticker symbols going up. So I didn't really want to make this video, and I didn't want to have to, but I need to make every single investor and viewer aware that we might be in the middle of a crash or correction already getting started. See that those are the peaks, and we've been going in a downward direction. The drawing is not meant to be exactly the same, but you could see we're going in that direction. Now, the other thing I want to mention is the treasury yield, right? The 10-year treasury. It's been spiking up. In the last month, it's gone up from 1.1 all the way to 1.6. And from last week, or if we put here the 5-day, you could see this was sitting at around 1.55. It jumped up to 1.59, hit 1.60, and now fell itself back down, and now it's sitting at 1.6. This at some point may not correlate anymore with the market, but for right now, it's definitely causing some type of surprise to the market. The market is actually feeling it and going downwards pretty quickly every time this goes higher. There will be a point where the detachment of the correlation will happen and the stock market will start to go back up on its own, hopefully sooner than later, because the treasury yield will actually become a norm to see itself at those levels. It's just that it's going up way too fast in such a short period of time. That's what's surprising the market. The other thing too is inflation year over year, which we need to keep in mind and pay close attention to, because the Federal Reserve is going to have a meeting next week on the 16th and 17th. So stay tuned for that. As always, guys, I hope you guys learned something new. I'm not here to encourage or discourage anyone from the market or encouraging them to buy, sell, or hold any positions. But I do want to say that this is the biggest opportunities, because the beginning of a bull run is on the way down. And I'm going to share with you guys later on this week what I mean by that, so you guys could see what is it that I mean when the beginning of a bull run is when the stock market is going down. It's really hard to time the bottom, but this is the time to find stocks you like, you understand, and prepare yourself and position yourself based off of your due diligence and research to make a rational decision as an investor. As always, guys, once again, hope you guys learned something new. Share this with your friends and community. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.